Okay, we're here with Omaha Skutt head coach Matt Turman. Coach, obviously you guys fell short of your goal of winning a state championship, but still had a very good year and battled some injuries, had to work in a lot of new faces to your roster. Just describe your 2020 season and kind of the outlook for 2021.
Well, I think the biggest thing was just trying to navigate the whole situation with COVID and, trying to keep your kids healthy, not just on the field, but off the field too. And that was probably the most challenging part. Unfortunately, we didn't have that happen, and we had quite a few absences from stuff off the field. So that part was challenging, but overall, I think our kids did a pretty good job.
Going forward into 2021, I don't know if Skutt's ever had an FBS recruit. We have one now, and Caden Becker, a quarterback that transferred to play for you, committed to Northern Illinois. Describe your quarterback, Caden, and what he brings to the table.
Last year he came in and he got into Skutt a little bit late, just trying to navigate the whole transfer thing, and it worked out for him and us, he had a nice year. He had to adjust on the fly. There was some a learning curve just for him getting to know our offense. But he's a go-getter. He's a hard worker. He's kind of a sponge. He wants to learn, and so he had a great end of the year for us, and had a great off season. And I think some of the schools took notice of that, and I'm expecting big things from him this coming year.
Yeah, and you were a quarterback in college. You have a nephew that went through the recruiting process and starts for Rutgers, so you kind of know what it takes to get to that level. I mean, why does he have what it takes, I guess, from what you've seen?
Well, he has a few of the stuff that you can't coach. He's 6'4" and 220 pounds, and he has a rocket for an arm. We've told him sometimes you got to learn the touch, and that's what he's been working on quite a bit. Putting the ball when it doesn't need to be rifled down in there, that he can put a little touch on it and make it a catchable ball. And but he's play faking and stuff. We do so much play action. We got to have him work on that too. But he has that stuff you can't coach, just the arm strength and the physical tools that the colleges are looking for.
When you have a quarterback like that, do you have to kind of maybe evolve some of your offense to fit those strengths?
I'm sure we will. It was a little bit tough last year because we didn't know what we had coming in. He wasn't there for the summer stuff and the first couple weeks of school, so we didn't have a whole lot of time to tailor things to his skill set specifically. And I think we'll be able to do that this summer and get him into some stuff that will really benefit his strengths.
Yeah, I'm sure a year ago at this time you didn't know, let alone that you had a starting quarterback, let alone a Division I guy coming in your building at that time, I'd imagine.
Right. No, we had no idea. So it'll be fun. We've had some good quarterbacks before, but Christian Dudzik and Tyson Gordon, but they ended up going to the next level to play defensive back. So this will be the first kid that we've had, and we've had a lot that is going to go to a big-time school and play quarterback at the next level.
Well, then you look at the receivers. You've got a really good group to throw to, and let's start with Emmett, 6'3", 170. And he's a speedster with a 33-inch vertical. Describe Emmett.
Emmett's a kid that was actually playing quarterback some last year. He was in the mix last year to be the starter. First couple games played some and at quarterback, and he has some natural ability there. But he's just a really good athlete. And then when Caden came in, we thought our best option was to move him to a different spot, and he'll have a great time at receiver. He has the body for a receiver. The other thing about Emmett is he's just so explosive. He was over a 22-foot long jumper as a freshman. Unfortunately, he missed track season last year with the pandemic. But we're expecting big things from him on the track and on the jumps. He's getting a lot of D1 looks in track and field. There's talk that some of these coaches that have seen him jump in the winter season and stuff think that he might be a 24-foot long jumper as a junior.
Wow. So he could win state.
Oh yeah, he should. I think he might be the favorite, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. But he just is a really explosive kid. And then when you look at him at receiver or safety or corner, some of these colleges look at him and they see that 6'3" frame and they can put some weight on him, and they like that length at DB or receiver.
And then looking at Joe, 6 foot, 6'1", 230. Kind of an anchor for you, it looks like, on the lines.
Joe he started some for us last year at center and some at D tackle, and he's gotten a lot bigger. He's put in a lot of time, He had an older brother who was an all-state player for us, who's at Nebraska Wesleyan now, and Joe will be kind of the guy that we hang our hat on the offensive and defensive lines.
And then finally, a very familiar last name in the Skutt world, Wyatt Archer, but built different than his older brother that's a linebacker right now in Nebraska.
Wyatt is just one of those kids. He's a motor kid. He was the one that came in as a sophomore, and we weren't quite sure what we would have. He actually experienced an injury his freshman year and missed quite a bit of his freshman season. So we knew that know what his brother brought to the table, and he had a brother after that started for us, named Owen, and so we knew that they came from a good football family, but we weren't quite sure what we were going to have. And as the season just progressed, he was a guy we couldn't leave on the sideline, and he ended up starting on both sides of the ball. Really explosive kid, has a really quick first step. We talked a little bit about having to adjust the offense to Caden's strengths, and we'll be able to do that this summer. We also have to find a way to get him the ball more than we did last year, just because he's so explosive and has a big playability to go the distance at any time.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you bringing your kids down here and looking forward to seeing your program here in 2021.
I appreciate it. Can't wait for next season.